Hello everyone, it's just a dad. Today I'm going to do the first look on this brand new, just released Eufy E25 robot vacuum cleaner. So this robot will vacuum and mop your house at the same time. Now I did buy this with my own money. I wasn't paid for this video. Pricing's all over the place on this right now. Retail's $1,200. It's on sale for $900, but they have an early bird coupon I was able to get. I got it for $700. So I'm not sure where your price point's going to be on this. But again, I bought it with my own money. And I wasn't paid for this video. In this video, we're gonna hook it up to our app. We're gonna map our house, and then we're gonna do the first cleaning in the world famous Just a Dad Corner cleaning. So in this video, you'll get kind of a first impression of how it is. Now, I will put a link to it in my show description notes. If you purchase the product using a link, the product doesn't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. It is a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to do these honest reviews. Now, there'll also be a pop-up in the YouTube video. YouTube has an affiliate program that if you click on it, it may take you to Walmart or to Eufy's website. If you click on those links inside the YouTube video, I also get a small commission. It is a way of helping support my channel, so I really do appreciate it. And eventually I will be comparing it to its brother, the Eufy E28, which looks very similar, and the older Eufy S1. Okay, here's everything that comes in the box. Now this robot has LiDAR navigation. I really like LiDAR navigation. And the Eufy app does a really good job of mapping your house and lots of functionality with that. So we'll talk about the robot in a second, but here's the base station. So the first thing, there's a cord in the box, and there's this ramp. We're gonna install this ramp. There was a piece of tape here. There is a solution bottle. Now there was a whole bunch of tape on here. Take all that tape off. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get these off without the residue staying behind, so that's a little disappointing. This is the clean water tank. Lift it up, and here's where the solution tank's going to go. We do have to remove this. It says tear off this right here. We're going to tear off this right there. All right, I got that torn off. You can see that is what it looks like. And then you're going to grab it. There's like an angle here. Whoops. We're going to put that in there and kind of push it down. That kind of activates it. All right. So we'll fill this up with clean water. There's an opening right here. There's where you're going to fill it up with clean water. Over here, this is where the dust bag is. So lift this up. The robot's going to vacuum your house, come back, and everything's going to get sucked out of the robot into this dust bag. And then you are going to have to replace this dust bag once in a while. About every 2 to 3 months. They're very easy to replace. Okay, round back. This is a 2-prong cord. We want to push that in all the way. Okay, you're going to plug this into 120 to 127 volts, 50 or 60 hertz. The power it consumes when it's dust collecting, 600 watts. When it's charging and drying the mop pads, 130 watts. The cord is 5 feet long and it's 2-prong. Now we also have a dirty water tank. So you're going to have to take this over to your sink once in a while and empty this dirty water tank. Very easy. Lift this latch up. There's a little float in there to let it know when it's full. The biggest thing is when you close this, you want to hear that little snap, and that's what that sticker's describing. Here's what all that looks like. Got some tubing and some hoses. Here's what the bottom of it looks like. Now it looks like that's the auto empty chamber. If you have a clog, you can take these screws out and undo the clog, but I like that it's clear so you could see if you have a blockage. Front to back, 18 inches. Left to right, 13 3/4. Now it's not real tall, but you do have to be able to lift. You need about 18 inches to get the tank out, but you do have to lift that up. You need about 21 inches. Down here we have a tray that we can take to the sink and clean it. Here's like a little tube. This is where it's going to blow hot air onto the mop pad to dry it. This is where it fills the robot. That might be, no, sorry. So 2 tubes. This is where it fills the robot with water. This is where it sucks the dirty water tank out. This is where it charges it. And that's like a sensor to help it back up. This tube is a little bit of a mystery to me. I'm not sure if it sucks because this sucks the water out of the robot. The dirty water stays in the robot and gets sucked out. This area down here, I'm not sure if this is just if excess drips down here or something. And again, this is where the vacuum auto empties the dustbin. All right, let's switch gears over to the robot. Now we do have a sensor on the front here. There was a bunch of plastic off, or take that plastic off. We got some bumper guards. We want to remove these on both sides. Now the bumper's nice and free. Now, since this has LiDAR navigation, it is going to map your house, and this thing will vacuum in straight lines. The sensor on the front is going to help it avoid obstacles, but if it does hit something that's heavy, it will turn it around. And if it's tall enough that the LiDAR can hit it, then it will also avoid it. One side brush, it does extend into the corner. We've got sensors on the side here. Now around back here, this is called the dirty water tank that is removable. There's where it's going to suck the water out of the dirty water tank. This is where it fills the robot, has an internal water tank with clean water that has the solution and clean water mixed with it. Here's where it charges it. Now let's measure real quick. It is kind of a square. We'll go to the biggest point, 14.5 inches, you know, about 13. Front to back might be, you know, about 14. That's height. It's a little on the tall side. Almost 4.5 inches tall. Up here, this glass tower is like a clear plastic. It just comes off. This is the dust bin. So as it vacuums your house, everything's gonna go in the dust bin. Just lift this up. Everything goes in here, and then it gets sucked out the bottom. Once in a while, you are gonna have to clean this filter, which is really easy. Open this latch. It's a really big filter. It is reusable. So take it to your sink. You can wash it out really nice and clean. Let it dry in the sun, and then you can put it back. So yeah, and you can wash this dustbin once in a while. This just goes down. Make sure that lever is up, and then push that down. There's two buttons up here, physical buttons. There's a home button right there and a power button. This is also to start it cleaning. If you want to do a whole house cleaning, just walk up to it and press that. And if it's bothering you, you can press that and it'll pause it. Now this robot is really neat. Press this button here. This is the dirty water tank. So it has a clean water tank and a dirty water tank. The clean water tank is going to wet the mop pad. The mop pad's going to be spinning the entire time. And then as it picks the dirt up off your floor, it gets scraped off of it. The dirty water gets scraped into this little chamber right here. And this is why this is the dirty water tank. Now again, you'll need to do some maintenance on this. This all comes apart, but it's all assembled for you ready to go. Lift this up. You're going to take this out. It's a little tricky, yeah. And we can see this there's where it gets inserted in from the base station. And that little tube goes to the bottom of this and sucks everything out of the dirty water tank. This does get pretty dirty, so you do have to clean it once in a while. And then there's filters here on the side, little filters just to help with what's going on with the machine. Make sure we push this in, make sure this is nice and flush. Now, when you press this button, when it's powered on, that mop pad will pop down and it'll be a lot easier to remove. Right now, it hasn't popped down, so it's a little hard to get to this right here. There's a little red thing. You'll press that red thing and then the brush roller will come off, but it's not powered on yet. So we'll wait and show you that. There's the brush roller. It goes the entire length. 11.5 inches of a 13-inch robot. So again, and it can lift this mop roller up and down 10.5 millimeters because it has a carpet sensor up here. Auto empty, drive wheels. These are the powered wheels. Now let's go to the brush roller. Pinch these little tabs. It's a split brush roller design. So the long hairs are not going to wrap around. If it was one single rod, the long hairs can wrap around it and then they don't come off. But in theory, the long hairs are going to wrap around, be directed to the middle, and then get sucked into the dustbin. Now to work on these, it's a little tricky. They got a diagram right here, but you're going to pull this and then lift up, and then this comes off. This part stays. You can't take this part off, but this you can take to the sink, clean, wash, put back, then rotate it, put it back on. Yeah, it's a little, there, it snaps on, rotate it down, and then click it back that way. And the same with this one. Rotate, up, off. Then back, snap, down, over. And then let's put the lid on. Here's the lid, or the cover. Put the front feet in, click it, and it floats up and down. This wheel just spins free. Here is the side brush that it can extend into the corner. That's on a little motor that it can extend. These are the cliff sensors, so it doesn't fall down your stairs. These are little glass windows. Now, it does have a carpet sensor right there. It's a little bit different looking. It's not like a little white film over it. I'm not sure exactly, but that when it senses carpet, it can lift the mop roller. Again, these are just fall-off sensors, these glass windows. Those have to be cleaned about every 30 hours. This other brush doesn't extend, but it does rotate. And then when it's over on the other side, you can just slide this in. One of the big things when you're messing with this dirty water tank is, and that's what the sticker's for, they're always telling you, make sure this is on. You want to hear the clicks. So, okay, I'm not sure about it looks like a camera, but they call it an RGB camera. It does have an LED light. I don't think it takes pictures. I think this is just it says it, and I'm starting to figure out this obstacle avoidance. I know there's AI, and this has an internal computer or software or something, but this thing has to recognize the obstacle. And that's why in the ad it says it recognizes 200 obstacles. They don't really tell us what those 200 obstacles are, which I think they should. So if it recognizes an obstacle, then it will avoid it. But if it doesn't recognize it, it possibly could not, it may run it over. So, if the dog poops and it doesn't look like what this recognizes, it's probably going to run it over. So nothing's 100%. I have not seen one robot yet that avoids absolutely everything, but we will check its obstacle avoidance. That's just really tricky, and of course they can always update the software with more. I don't know that they ever do, and this whole process has got me baffled. I know it does suck the water out of the dirty water tank. I don't know what this tube is for. If you know, leave it in the comments. Because the E25 has the same tube, and I've seen just a couple drips down here once in a while, but nothing major. So this whole area is kind of a mystery a little bit. The cleaning happens on board. When it comes back to self-clean, it doesn't heat the water. It does fill the water tank up, and you'll hear the brush roller. I think it spins it both ways, and then it sucks the dirty water out. So the self-cleaning is all on board when it's attached to this. Okay, let's get the tanks ready. Now the dirty water tank, we're going to spray some Listerine mouthwash. Put some in a spray bottle. This will prevent odors. These dirty water tanks can really stink. The clean water tank, we're just going to fill up with clean water. And I put a link to this brush in the show description notes. It's just from Walmart. It's like $5, but it's the perfect brush. I've tested several brushes, but you're going to have to clean these dirty water tanks. Ooh. If you overfill it, it goes in where the handle is. I don't like that. So let's go install the tanks. I've got the base station plugged in. This is one thing I love about Eufy robots is this light, because you can just walk by at a glance and see what's going on. So as soon as I put the tanks in, it goes to white. The clean water tank is full. The dirty water tank's empty. That'll be white. And then as soon as this gets empty or that one's full, it goes red, easy to see. And again, very disappointed. These stickers leave a huge residue. Now the robot is on the heavy side, so be careful with it. I don't have it. You could turn it on, but docking is going to turn it on. So let's just, there. It should speak to us. And those lights, I think, yeah, those lights in the buttons came on. Eufy has 2 apps now. I think you can still use the clean app, but this other app is for their security alarms and stuff. I use this one now. So under care, and then we're going to click add a device, or there is a little plus button up here in the top right, but let's just click add a device. Nope, it's not under care. It's under clean. Now, there's all the other devices. So you may see add a device, but I'm going to click the little plus button right here. Add a device. And we want a E series. There it is, E series. It's an E25. It is powered on. Click the button here that I powered it on. Reset the device. Press and hold the left and the right buttons for about 3 seconds. So you're going to come down here. It's already powered on. Press these 2 buttons for 3 seconds. Hold.
Wi-Fi has been reset.
Okay, let up as soon as you hear
Follow
that.
the instructions.
Okay, click this little box, then hit next. There it is, hit connect. Select your Wi-Fi. It only works on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Give it your Wi-Fi password. Then click next. Now, this is tricky. It says there's a space. You can hit continue. I have a space in my SSID. I don't have a space in my password. So it makes you think that you're doing something wrong, but you can have a space in your SSID, the top part. I don't think you can have a space in your password, but I just hit continue.
Connecting Wi-Fi.
Okay, so now this tablet's going to connect to that robot's Wi-Fi, and then the tablet should go back to normal Wi-Fi, and it should tell the robot what Wi-Fi to connect to.
Wi-Fi connection
Yep.
successful.
Sometimes you have to manually do it, but this is very simple so far. And there it is. It doesn't say E25, but it just says RoboVac. So click the enter button. Oh, there's an important upgrade. Let's do it now. You don't have to, but I am going to do it. Fix bugs. You could upgrade later if you're in a hurry, but I'm going to do it now.
Playdating.
And I will turn auto upgrade on. Oops. Yeah. Okay, that took maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Just hit back. Now let's hit enter. Must be the voice pack setting. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's hit back. So you got to agree to this user experience. Next is talking about mapping. Okay, so we should get a pop-up to map, maybe, I'm not sure. But we got 86% charge. Looks like it's still updating. I went back. So I think it was still updating. That took another couple minutes. Now hit enter. You may get a pop-up to tell you to start mapping. Okay, I'm not seeing a pop-up, so let's click. Let's click over here, map, manage maps. So I want multi-floor saving. You don't have to click that, but we need to create a map. And so open the doors, put the toys and stuff away, kind of generally pick up, put chairs where they are, hit getting started. Okay, as soon as you hit that, it undocks, and it's going to randomly go around your house now. It's not going to clean, but it is going to map your house, and you can sit back and enjoy this. This is really cool. It creates the map in real time. I love LiDAR navigation, and Eufy does a really good job of mapping. And when it's all done, this will look really nice with separated rooms. This looks like it saw my shoe. Again, I don't think it takes pictures, but we'll go in through all the settings here in a little bit. Okay, it didn't take long at all. Maybe 15, 20 minutes. That's an excellent map of my house. Detected carpet. We're going to do a full house cleaning first. It's going to go around and detect all your carpet as it cleans your house. But okay, so let's go. Man, that map doesn't need much editing, but click the little map button here. And now let's divide the rooms. It even knows I want this room divided. That's funny. So pick a room. Let's pick this room. Move this line. It has to be a solid line. You can pinch and zoom. You can move it bigger. If it's dotted, it's not going to do the work. It's not going to divide the room. So see how right here it's not there. Now it's solid. Nope, won't divide it until it's solid. Click the little green or blue check, and you should get 2 different colors of rooms. Now let's go back. Oh no, let's retract. Oh, it's got an undo button. I didn't know that. Okay, so take your time, divide up your rooms, hit this back arrow down here. You can merge rooms. So yeah, I want to merge the hallway, this and this. I'll merge those and then I'll divide that room up a little bit. Hit the back arrow, not the undo arrow. Rename, this is important. You can name them whatever you'd like. I do recommend using the names they have. Sometimes they have special cleaning ways for like the kitchen and others. So, but you can put a custom name here. I'm going to put corner. Hit the check mark. That's the corner test area. And then you can take your time, hit the back arrow. Oh no, save. I should have hit the check mark. Oh, no-go zones are really important. Click that. We got a no-go zone, no mop zone, and virtual wall. Or they call it a boundary. But if you click that, like you could put that to the entrance of a room and it won't go into that room. So you can move that around. Put that, I usually don't use those. I use no-go zones. So this, I know, whoops. So click that and then drag it. I know back here, there's a computer with a bunch of cables. So I can make this as big as I want. Move it over here, put it there, hit the little check mark. I can put a no mop zone. You can fine tune this later, have it do a full clean in your house. And then you could just, if you see it mopping an area it shouldn't, you could click no mop zone. Hit the check mark here. No go zone, carpet editing. Tap a carpet. So it knows that area is carpet and I can edit it. Or I can add a carpet. Again, I recommend a full house clean by vacuum only and then go in and fine tune where the carpet is. Floor material. So I wonder, so I know the corner test is wood, but it doesn't let us pick the direction. You got wood, tile, marble, or terrazzo. Now, I'm not sure if it can, they don't tell us a whole lot about these robots. I don't know if it differs the downward pressure on different materials. They just don't tell us a whole lot about this. Okay, so that's hardwood floors, but you're not allowed to pick the direction. All right, so we're done with the map editing. Let's go into my recommended settings. Let's click the little gear icon. Base station settings, let's click on that. Auto drying, standard. Quick dry or standard? Takes 5 hours. Wow. It uses hot air. I'll use quick. Now, every once in a while you will hear that brush roller turn and it kind of scares you. Auto empty, frequency. Auto, you can turn that off, but 30 minutes is fine. Auto mop washing. Auto detergent. Don't let us select anything. Cleaning history. This is where you're going to see where when it's cleaned your house. Put it on a schedule. The number one thing I tell people: put it on a schedule. Have it mop your kitchen one day and do the entire house vacuum and mop 1 day a week. Cleaning preferences. Boost IQ. Now it could get annoying. It increases the suction when it knows it's on carpet. Set the robot's cleaning strategy for carpet detection. So you want it to vacuum. That's the default. If you select avoid, it's not going to go anywhere near your carpet. So vacuum only. It means it won't mop your carpet. Dirt spot cleaning. It's off by default. Let's click the little. When ground stains like coffee are detected, a precise deep mopping action will target the stain. I mean, it's off by default. I'm going to turn it on. Well, you can play around with that. They don't tell us a whole lot. They say the camera or whatever on front that it can recognize a stain on hardwood floor and then go back and forth and mop that stain really good. I don't think that works that well, but it is off by default. So if you want it to work, you got to at least turn it on. Auto recleaning, auto return cleaning. When the low battery prevents cleaning, it will return to the base station's charge and then start cleaning again. So do not disturb will be important. Eufy lab, smart track cleaning. These are kind of like experiments, beta versions. Oh, I don't like this one. That's when you tap the bumper and then it follows you and then you tap it again and it starts cleaning the area. I don't know. I accidentally tap it too many times and then it's just like starts cleaning. I do like this one, water level detection. Each time you have to fill it to the maximum line. So it's going to tell you the water levels. Dirt, so this one, again, they don't say a whole lot about it, but it's off by default. But here's the thing. If you turn it on, after it's done cleaning, it's going to go around and inspect for dirt. I'm not sure how it does that. I need to play around with that more. It's off by default. I'm going to leave it off. I got to do more investigating on that. I don't anticipate that working that well. More settings. AIC is on. Do not disturb is on. That's important. You can set the time 10 to 8. That's fine. Child locks off. Area units, square feet, or manual controls. I've never used manual controls. You can, yeah. Firmware update. I do recommend turning that to on. Voice settings. You can do the volume and the language. Activity log is off. User experience. It says Eufy will collect images and video data generated by the robot during operation. So that's on by default. If you don't want to send anything up to them, turn that off. And then find my robot. But again, I don't know what they're sending up to them because I don't think that's a camera. More, did I click more settings? Yeah. Device info. This is where you change the name of it and gives you the serial number. Okay, that's it. So here's your home page. You can do, what's this common? Add a cleaning task. Create task. I don't know what those are. If you want to clean your entire home, it'll clean every single room. You don't get to pick the order in which it cleans it. I wish you did. You can select, so click this and you're going to, so it does have this AI automation. We're going to automatically select a cleaning strategy based on room type. That's where naming the rooms is important because it does things differently for like the kitchen, the bathroom. I think it kind of does it in a certain order. Again, they just don't tell us a whole lot about what's going on. It also adjusts the cleaning strategy when it identifies carpets and areas with pets during cleaning. So that's off by default. If you turn that on, it kind of locks the settings. So as soon as you go in and pick what you want to do, it turns that off. So you may want to turn that. Those beeps are kind of loud. You can do by room and then a zone. Let's go down here. So if you click room, you can pick the, I think you can pick, yeah, you can pick the order of the room that it cleans. So it'll go here, there, and it'll do those rooms. And then you can swipe up and then you can pick how it cleans each room. This is really, really nice. You could say, I want just to vacuum that room. I want to mop that room. I want to vacuum and mop that room. That's very, very nice. Let's do a zone. Click zone. I got it. Okay. Carpet cleaning or zone cleaning? Huh, it's different. So you could pick another one, add a zone, put this wherever you want. Let's exit out. Let's go back to zone and carpet cleaning. Oh. You can't separate carpet cleaning settings for each carpet. I've never seen that zone where it just cleans the carpets by itself. That's kind of neat. I got to play around with that more. That's something new to me. So under zone, you've got carpet cleaning. Normally it's just zone where you just pick the zones and how you want to clean each zone. Interesting. That's it. Very simple. It says it supports Matter. I haven't seen that. Sometimes there are more settings under here. So under the Eufy Clean app, it looks a little different. And I think I'm trying to see if we have access to Matter. Work with Matter support. Okay, so it says these three, the S1, E20, now that's not the S1 Pro, but those three connect to third. So this is where you connect it to all of those third party. So let's try it. I guess the smart things is Matter. Oh, it gives you, then you got to get your iPhone. So again, I don't see how to connect to the smart speakers under the other app has the security cameras. I only see it under clean, and you click these three little arrows and you get some more stuff that works with Matter. So it looks like you have a few more things on this app. Okay, so let's go tell the E25 to go clean that room over there. I'm gonna have it vacuum and mop. I'm gonna have the wetness level on high. Yeah, we'll put it on turbo and 2 passes for suction.
Start room cleaning. Start washing mop.
Okay, so the first thing it's going to do is going to wash the mop roller. And it's also going to fill the internal water tank up. And then we will hear it sucking out the dirty water of the dirty water tank. There's what that sounds like when it's sucking the water out of the dirty water tank. It's kind of a high-pitched noise, but not super loud. And that lasted about 30 seconds. Maybe 20 seconds. So it's going to undock itself. It's going to travel to that room and start cleaning. All right, it's going to travel to that room. Let's see how it does. Okay, we're going to see how the Eufy E25 cleans up this room. I've got a cable. We'll check its obstacle avoidance. So it looks like it did recognize that cable, and it is going around it. So it's doing a good job. Wow, I can extend that side brush. It's doing an excellent job of cleaning. Wow. That is really, really clean. Now, it can't go under furniture. It is almost 4.5 inches tall. It might be able to get underneath this, but... And again, since it knows where that obstacle is, it's going to avoid it now. And now it's going to go in straight lines. And we can see right in the map, it identified that as a cable. Now, it does not take pictures of it. And it is vacuuming and mopping at the same time. Wow, that did an excellent job. And it avoided that toy. Wow, it did a really good job. Those muddy paw prints are almost all gone. It did hit the toy a little bit. So in the app, it wasn't able to identify the toy, but it did go around it. And we can see that corner is really clean from the first pass. And I've got this, it's going to do 2 passes. There's that spinning brush roller on the bottom. And it has a dirty water tank. It is going to go around and do the perimeter of the room again. Wow, that corner is clean. Now the first pass went left, right. Now this pass is going this way. It did move that toy quite a bit. I wish it would have stayed a little farther away from it. So when it can't recognize the obstacle, it does get too close to it. When it recognizes it with the onboard AI, then it avoids it. Now we'll try something common like a shoe. It's going to sense that shoe and avoid it, I bet. There, see, it's sensing it. It's going to go around it, observe it, and then recognize it, and we'll look in the app. Yeah, and that's what it's doing. It recognized the shoe, and so now it's avoiding it. It says it can recognize up to 200 obstacles. We just don't know what those 200 obstacles are. But common things like shoes, cables, it can recognize. But things like a Lego toy, it struggled with. Okay, when it's all done, it's going to travel back to the base station, wash the mop pad, and empty the dustbin. Let's just pause it. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the dustbin.
Dustbin removed.
Wow, there's all the long hairs. Let's take a look here. Press this. This is
Water
there.
tank removed.
Here's the dirty water. Now this is going to be full, or not full, but it's going to have the dirty water in it. Now as we open this up, I'll take that out. So this is the dirty water that it's going to take back to the base station. I thought there'd be a little bit more. Yeah. But it is going to wash the mop pad, we can see. And we don't have a bunch of long hairs wrapped around because it's got the split brush roller design, there's not a bunch of long hairs wrapped around the vacuum brush roller. Now it's going to use the onboard water tank and dirty water tank to wash the mop pad. And then we'll hear it's going to vacuum out the dirty water tank.
Charging. Start washing mops.
So there's that dirty water suction pump. It's sucking the water out of the dirty water tank. Now we can hear it kind of filling the robot up with water. And then we're going to hear that brush roller spin. There was kind of a short delay, maybe about 20 seconds, and then it started up again. There we can hear the brush roller spinning. And it does change it directions. You can hear it spinning one way and then spinning the other way, I think. Then the Eufy app shows us exactly what it's doing. Then there's everywhere cleaned in the corner test area. So getting back to this area, it is very clean. Now there's a little bit of dirt in the crevices, but as far as the floor, it's extremely clean. It got all of the corner, all of the long hair. Excellent job of cleaning. And this whole washing the mop takes about 2 minutes.
Washing mops. Start drying mops.
Okay, so it's going to dry the mop pad with hot air. Now, every once in a while, you will hear the robot will spin that mop pad just a little bit, so the hot air is blowing right on the mop pad in a different section. Now, I'm going to turn the auto empty on.
Collecting dust.
This is what it's going to do after it vacuums your house. It turns that dirty water suction on first, and then it auto empties the dustbin. And then we can hear it's turning that brush roller I think it turns it both directions to try to help get the hairs off of it. Now the reason mine didn't auto empty when it first came back is I've got it set to auto empty every 30 minutes. So after it has accumulated 30 minutes of vacuuming, it'll come back and auto empty. And everything goes into this dust bag right here. You have to replace that dust bag about every 2 months. And here we have the clean water tank. There is a solution tank that adds solution to the clean water. And we can see there's the dirty water tank. Yeah, it's really dirty. So I honestly thought that the dirty water tank would have a little bit more water in it, but I understand that there's a lot trapped in the brush roller. And so when it's over here, it does wash the brush roller and gets a lot more dirt off. But this is after, so I did 2 cleanings. I cleaned this little area and then I cleaned there. We can see there's the dirty water tank. It's not a whole lot of dirty water. So, and I think I've figured this out down here. I think during the process of washing the mop, water just kind of naturally goes down here. Like water is just around the dirty water tank, and so it drips down into here. There is suction there during the process so that the water eventually will go to this little area and be sucked out. It does not empty the dirty water tank into this area. The dirty water tank is sucked out. Right there we can see. Unlike the Eufy S1, which would actually empty it into a little area and then get sucked out. This one does not do that. It's all on board. So I was really puzzled on the E28 about that little area. And I think that's what I figured out. Let's check the how do empty. Yeah, it sucked everything out. So it did a good job. I was really shocked with the long hair. Yeah, I don't see the long hairs. Mop rollers, you can tell it's been cleaned. Okay, let's see how the Eufy E25 vacuums up carpet. We'll check its obstacle avoidance. It is going to do 2 passes in this room since it's so dirty. Not doing too bad of a job. The second pass it should be able to get that. So it wasn't able to recognize that ball. I had to stop it and take it out from underneath it. We got a bunch of long hairs in the carpet. And that is a checker. So it did not avoid the checker. I'll have to go find that checker. Now it is able to lift that mop pad 10 millimeters. I'm not sure exactly. There it is. So it was just moving it along. So we can see the side brushes don't have any long hairs. The center brushes don't have any long hairs. So yeah, but it is lifting that only 10 millimeters. So on this type of carpet, it is dragging it. So I get a lot of requests for fake poop. I'm going to put a cable. See, they tell us it identifies 200 objects that it can avoid. And sometimes I'll see a checker piece. So I'm trying to guess at what these objects are. I know like a shoe, and I know cables, and there are different kinds of fake poop, but And again, this is a kind of thicker carpet. It is definitely dragging that mop pad on the carpet. It's lifted up, but it just can't lift it very high, which for a robot vacuum cleaner, 10.5 millimeters is about standard. There are other robots that can remove the mop pads and leave them at the base station. This one cannot. But you could, on the routines, you could just have it vacuum only certain days of the week. That way it never gets the mop pad wet. And then on certain days you could have it mop and vacuum. So it looks like it's identifying that cable, maybe. Or is it, I think it's just starting the second pass. So it's gonna go around, do the perimeter of the room. There's that mop pad lifted, but it is touching the carpet. Okay, so in the app, it did identify that cable that I laid down. And again, only if the onboard AI recognizes something does it avoid. And one of the biggest questions I'm gonna get is, I will be comparing it to the E28, the Eufy S1, and then the Eufy S1 Pro, which is right next to it. I brought it up from the basement. I can tell you right now, this is better than the E28. That E28 is really loud, and unless you absolutely need a carpet cleaner, but it's kind of heavy, that portable spot cleaner. But this has a lot of the clean. I don't think it's gonna clean any better. It's all has to do with the base station. And this has something like 20,000 pascals of suction. I mean, something just crazy. Yeah, 20,000, which is a little hard to test. I do feel like it is doing a pretty good job of vacuuming. It's avoiding that cable. That's good. That's hard. When it's laying flat like that, that's a whole other deal. Sometimes when they're coiled up, it's a little easier, and sometimes they struggle. Yeah. See, it thinks it's right there, and it's doing its circle around. So, okay. See how hard it is to avoid a cable? I've got it on its quietest vacuum setting. So I'm being really hard on this, but you're going to have a good user experience with this. This thing mops really well. It's a great robot vacuum cleaner. It's definitely got my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. You know, none of these robots avoid obstacles 100%. Some do a little bit better than others, but on some days they don't. And it all depends. There's so many variables. Flooring, so a certain obstacle may be avoided on carpet, but not on that hardwood floor, and then vice versa. It's just, there's so many variables with this obstacle avoidance. They're just, none of them are 100% yet. I think we'll get really, I think we're going to, it seems like this is plateaued in my opinion. The obstacle avoidance has kind of plateaued over the last maybe 8 months to a year. They all kind of are about a 90%, which again, don't get me wrong, it's really good. Now some have zero obstacle avoidance, but it's all about the more expensive sensor on the front. This does have the more expensive sensor for avoiding stuff, but it has to onboard recognize it. I'm starting to learn this myself. I mean, I've had some help with people leaving comments, but this whole obstacle avoidance thing, they just tell us so very little in the description. And what I've seen is, so they really highlight, it recognizes 200 obstacles. Okay, well that's actually pretty important. It has to recognize it in order for it to make its track around it. If it doesn't recognize it, okay, see there you got like this, it's like going into like, oh, I need to try to see if I can recognize this. I think it's like taking pictures, or it's observing it from different angles, and then it's going to tell us whether or not it can recognize it. And see, it did. Pet, just an object. Okay, I was thinking it was going to recognize it as pet feces, but it does a good job with shoes. So it recognizes shoes really well. You can be walking around it and it immediately recognizes it. So it did identify that, but it didn't identify it as pet waste. And pet waste can look so much, the variables, I mean, they're going to have a really hard time with that, because it could be a lot smaller, a lot bigger, that's just a plastic sample. But the good thing is once it recognizes it, then it does avoid it typically. Okay, I bumped the suction up to high again. This is where that coffee was. I mean, this floor is really clean. Now it doesn't have a very clean, wide vacuum pattern. There's a few coffee left in there. It doesn't vacuum the entire width of the robot, so and I do wish the pattern was a little tighter. There was a few areas that it kind of didn't get. But overall, this is going to be a great vacuum. It's just different how it does it. Okay, so it's all done. It's going to head home. It's going to auto empty. All right, it's backing up to the dock and it's going to auto empty the dustbin.
Charging. Collecting dust.
Now again, it turns on this, every time a dust collection happens, it turns on the dirty water pump. I'm not sure why. There, now it's going to do the dust. And I can hear at the end, it's turning the brush rollers. They don't explain what's happening here. I wish they would tell us a lot more about these robots. I think you hear that. It's a common theme in my videos. I mean, I was an aircraft mechanic for a long time, and the first thing before you got to know how stuff works before you. So the first thing I do is I read as much as I can on this. That way I can, verify it, explain it, but they're just very general in what it does. So you're going to have a great user experience. This Eufy app is amazing. It's got to do some more. I wish it would have updated the map on where the carpet was when it did this cleaning, but I'm going to have it do a whole lot. Again, this is the first look. I got to use it. I'm definitely going to take this home and use it, really put it to the test. Box art, so auto washing, heated air, dual spin brushes, hydrojet system, and that arm that goes in the corner, 20,000 pascals of suction. Yeah, it's going to be a great robot. Now, keep in mind, Eufy robots, this one it's on the heavy side. I know if you plan on moving it up and down, like to the basement or upstairs, it's just the robot itself is kind of heavy compared to some of these like Roborocks and stuff. But I will be doing the comparison between the S1, which I took apart and I cleaned everything, getting it all ready for another testing, and the S1. So that's the S1 Pro, that's the S1. And there's the E28, which has been doing a good job, but I think there are some concerns with how well they actually mop, which I would like to see a little bit more water in that dirty water tank, but when they mop, they do a good job, as you saw in the video. So again, I really do appreciate everybody's support. Again, I bought this with my own money. I wasn't paid for this video. This was the first look. I got more detailed reviews coming. I love it. I approve of it. I can tell already it's going to be a good robot. Good user interface, does clean, does vacuum. It's got a few little quirks, but nothing to be too, they all have quirks. So nothing is like the most perfect robot in the world. So I will be doing other comparisons. But again, I really do appreciate everybody's support. I bought this, again, because of viewer comments. There's a big following for Eufy. People were very anxious why they released the E28 before the E25 or not at the same time. I don't know, but I would want the E25 over the E28 because that carpet cleaner, I just didn't. There's lighter carpet cleaners that are easier to use. So again, I just thank you, everybody. Again, I'm just so thankful for this. This is all because of you. I want to review the robots that you want me to review. I'm going to get into Ecovacs a little bit. They are super popular. I just saw an article where they're like the #2 best-selling robot, so I got to do them. I know I've had not the best user experience with them and stuff. They just kind of like, these other ones are just better. So I will be doing some more Ecovacs. I get a lot of requests for Ecovacs. And so again, I just appreciate everybody's support. Again, I do use links. If you purchase any of these products using my links, the products don't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. Just a way of helping support my channel that I really, really do appreciate. Buying these robots with my own money, giving my honest opinion. You know, I showed you what's wrong with it, but it's going to be a great robot. And that's my honest opinion. If I took that home, I'm going to have very little trouble with it. You're going to have a great user experience with it. Just keep in mind what it does. So, and that's why I try to show as much as I can in the video. If you're going to spend You know, that's over $1,000 robot. If you're, well, with these weird sales, if you're going to spend that amount of money on a robot, I think you should be able to see exactly how it's going to clean, how it's going to do in real time. Seeing sped up videos, I don't think will ever be my style. I guess it's like a first person style I have. I'm not really sure. This just is what this is what works for me, and how my brain works. I don't have a video editor. I can't do real fancy videos with stuff popping up. I just literally will stitch, I'll maybe cut out a thing or something, but I literally just stitch about 4 or 5 little clips together. Not little, they're big clips. Make it one big video, and that's how I've got to do it. Because I don't want to spend a lot of time with the video editing. I want to make more videos. I want to, now, today, I'm gonna compare it to the Eufy S1. I'm gonna compare it to the E28. Those are gonna be fun. I have fun doing this. So, love making videos. Again, really do appreciate everybody's support. Thanks. And if you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.